The Middle Ages, a time of darkness and mystery, when the world was filled with strange and terrifying tales. The night was long, and the unknown loomed large over everyday life. It was an era of superstition, where witches were burned at the stake, and prophecies were taken as the divine word. From ancient curses to enchanted forests, these dark legends were more than just stories. They were warnings, beliefs, and fears passed down through generations. Today, we unravel 7 of the most chilling legends from the Middle Ages. The Witch of Endor. Our first legend takes us to the lands of ancient Europe, where witchcraft was feared, revered, and misunderstood. One of the most terrifying stories of witchcraft comes from the Witch of Endor. According to the Bible, this woman summoned the spirit of the dead prophet Samuel at the request of King Saul, who was desperate for advice before a battle. But the dark magic she used to call Samuel from the grave set the stage for her tragic fate. Such acts would not go unpunished. Witches who meddled with the dead were believed to disrupt the natural order, and in the Middle Ages, such acts would not go unpunished. The Witch of Endor was said to have cursed her village, leaving it plagued by death and misfortune. To this day, her name is whispered as a cautionary tale of meddling with forces beyond human understanding. The Curse of the Bambers. Imagine living in a time when curses were not just superstition, but a very real part of life. The Bambers were a family in the Middle Ages whose fate would forever be sealed by a powerful curse. It is said that after a Bamber family member murdered a man in cold blood, a wandering sorceress appeared at their doorstep. She warned them of the consequences of their violent actions and laid a curse upon them. Soon after, their prosperity turned to ruin. Crops failed, and misfortune followed them wherever they went. Generations of Bambers suffered from ill luck, leading many to believe that the curse of that long-forgotten sorceress had destroyed their bloodline. To this day, some say that the Bambers are still haunted by that ancient curse, a reminder of the power witches wielded in the minds of people back then. The Prophecy of Merlin. Merlin, the legendary wizard of King Arthur's court, was not only known for his wisdom, but for his strange and often cryptic prophecies. One of the most chilling prophecies Merlin foretold was the fall of Camelot. He spoke of a time when Arthur's knights would betray him, and the kingdom would crumble into ruin. This prophecy was believed to have come true when Arthur's closest allies, like Sir Lancelot, turned against him. As the legend goes, Arthur, devastated by the betrayal in the prophecy, died in battle. Camelot fell, and the once great kingdom of Arthur faded into legend. Some believe that Merlin's prophecy was not just an omen of doom, but a curse, ensuring that the once glorious kingdom would never rise again. The Curse of the Black Death. One of the darkest and most terrifying events in the Middle Ages was the outbreak of the Black Death. It is estimated that over 25 million people died across Europe during this period, and many believe the plague was a divine punishment for the sins of humanity. But not everyone agreed. Some believed it was a curse, a spell cast by witches or vengeful spirits. During the plague, entire villages were wiped out, and the dead were buried in mass graves, often without ceremony. Some people believed the spirits of the dead were angry and cursed the land, spreading illness and death across the population. The Black Death, with its swift and brutal toll, remains one of the most horrific chapters in the history of the Middle Ages. The Legend of the Green Man. In the deep forests of Europe, there's a legend that had persisted through the centuries. The tale of the Green Man. Often depicted as a man with a face made entirely of leaves, the Green Man was believed to be a spirit of nature, both a protector and a harbinger of doom. It was said that those who wandered too deep into the forest would encounter the Green Man, who would either offer them a blessing or a curse, depending on how they treated the natural world. Some believe that the Green Man could manipulate the forces of nature, using wind and rain to punish those who disrespected the forests. To this day, images of the Green Man can still be found carved into old church walls and stone monuments, a reminder of the ancient belief in the supernatural power of nature. The Curse of the Templars. The Knights Templar were once the most powerful and secretive military order in medieval Europe. But in the early 14th century, their fall from grace would give rise to one of the most enduring legends of betrayal and curse. On the night of Friday, October 13th, 1307, King Philip IV of France ordered the mass arrest of the Templars, accusing them of heresy and witchcraft. Many of the knights were tortured and executed, and their wealth was seized. Before his death, the last Grand Master of the Templars, Jacques de Molay, is said to have cursed King Philip and the Pope, declaring that they would soon meet their doom. In the years that followed, both Philip and Pope Clement V died in mysterious and sudden circumstances. Some believe that the curse of the Templars had come to fruition, causing their enemies to fall victim to divine retribution. The Witch Trials of Pendle Hill. No discussion of medieval witchcraft will be complete without mentioning the infamous Pendle Hill witch trials. In 1612, 12 people from the Pendle Hill area in England were arrested and accused of witchcraft. They were charged with casting spells, summoning demons, and causing death and illness in the local community. The trial and execution of these so-called witches was one of the most famous in English history. The story of the Pendle witches became legendary, with many believing that they had cursed the area, causing a lingering dark presence over the region. Despite the passage of centuries, Pendle Hill remains associated with witchcraft and curses to this day, attracting those who seek to uncover the truth behind the dark legends of the witches. These are just 7 of the countless dark legends that shaped the medieval world, tales filled with witchcraft, prophecies, and curses that define an era steeped in superstition and fear. The Middle Ages were a time when the line between the natural and supernatural seemed thin, and people believed that the world around them was controlled by forces they couldn't fully comprehend. The Middle Ages were a time when the line between the natural and supernatural seemed thin, and people believed that the world around them was controlled by forces they couldn't fully comprehend. These stories, passed down through the centuries, serve as chilling reminders of a time when magic, curses, and prophecies were very real threats. And while the world has changed, the shadows of these legends still linger, waiting to be discovered by those who dare to look.